Air signs, hello and welcome. Welcome to your week ahead reading with me, Intuitive Rene. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, this is for you. We are looking at the week of the 16th to the 22nd of January 2023. And on the table here in front of me, I have two amazing decks that we're going to work with. The first one we're going to be working with is a new deck to my collection, and one that I have been so enjoying working with over the last couple of days. This is the Fool's Wisdom Oracle. I have used it a few times on my social, so you may have seen it, you may recognize it. And the tarot deck I'm working with today is the Surrealist Tarot. And this deck is unusual, it's quirky, it's different, it's peculiar, and for that reason I just absolutely love it. So I'm going to move this one out of the way for a brief bit while we focus on our Fool's Wisdom Oracle. So I'm going to give this deck a shuffle. And air signs, I hope your week last week was a good one. I hope your week wasn't awful. I hope you succeeded, achieved, accomplished everything that you needed to, and I hope your reading of last week helped you navigate the way forward. From the Fool's Wisdom Oracle that I have here in front of me, I'm looking for a single card that's going to sort of just kickstart our reading to give us an idea of what's in store for you for the week ahead and where your energies and focus needs to be. Right, so I'm happy with that shuffle. Let's cut the deck and take a card off the top. Let's see what we have. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you have drawn card number 2, the Dutiful. Now, it is quite funny. I'm recording this on Saturday, and I actually drew this card on Saturday on my socials. So if you haven't already seen it, go back. When I drew this card, I also added a couple of tarot charms to it as well. And the message that came through was all about doing your chores and getting your chores done so that you can, enjoy what life has to offer you. The Fool's Wisdom message that we have across the bottom here is assume all your duties with love in your heart. So, sometimes we have to understand that in life, and I'm just going to start shuffling the tarot while I'm talking about the dutiful. Sometimes in life we just have to do stuff. We don't always want to wash dishes, but we have to. We don't always want to make our bed, but we have to. We don't always want to listen to what our boss has to say, but we have to. Sometimes in life our duties outweigh our desires for freedom and happiness and all the rest of it. But by doing the things that we're supposed to do, by doing the things that are duties, by following through with that, it gives us, every single one of us, a sense of familiar, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of duty, and a sense of purpose even. So it is important. So I think Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, in this week ahead, we've got some cards jumping, but that's because I'm a bad shuffler. In this week ahead, you're going to have to assume all duties with love in your heart. So even if you're doing something that you don't like to do, so it may even be forgetting about duties and chores. It may be like having a really hard conversation with somebody. You might find this week that you have to have a tough conversation with a family member, with a friend, with a colleague, with whoever around you. You may have to have a tough conversation with the petrol attendant. I don't know. I'm saying that there may be a situation where you have to have a really hard discussion with somebody. And if you do it, whatever it is, if you do it with love in your heart, it means that you're coming at it from a positive place, from a place of love, from a place of understanding, from a place of compassion and empathy. Then immediately you're bringing those energies into the situation and into the circumstance, which means it might not be all bad. But if you come at it from fear, if you come at it from anger and frustration and fear, you're immediately adding those energies into the situation, which means you're fueling a really, really difficult thing. Whereas if you come at it from love, immediately you lessen the impact or the outcome. You make it easier, you make it better, you make it kinder and gentler for yourself and for everybody else concerned. So whatever it is that you have to do this week, whatever your duty is, just come at it from a place of love, come at it from a place of peace, from a place of understanding, and from a place of compassion and empathy. And if you do that, it'll be so much easier. Let's have a look and see what the tarot wants to add to that. Our first card we have is the Ten of Cups. Our second card is the card of strength. We understand immediately. Then we have the Knight of Swords. And finally, we have the Two of Pentacles. Right, I'm putting the deck away because I'm only taking these 4 cards. And let's see what the week has in store for you. So air signs, we're starting off with our first card, which is the 10 of Cups. Now, the artwork, this is one of the reasons why I just love this deck, because it really makes you climb out of your comfort zone. So immediately we notice all the big faces. Then we notice that obviously all that the heads are cut off, and there is a sort of a pool of water, and coming out of the pool of water is another body. Okay, another person whose head is cut off, and they have in their heads, they have another head, and in their heads there's another head. And it is, I just want to see, I don't know how close I can go, but if you look at like maybe this one over here, so there is a head, there is a head, there is a head, there is a head, and it goes on forever. I love this one with the hands out saying yes, success and victory and happiness and all of those kind of things. What is the 10 of Cups? The 10 of Cups is about realizing the evolution, realizing the big picture, realizing that each person influences, impacts, affects somebody else in a positive way, understanding that we are on our own, we are nothing, but together we are everything. So this is talking about family. It is talking about the hierarchy within the family, okay? Because that's what we have. When we have this kind of from big at the bottom to small at the top, we're creating a hierarchy, one at the top, multiple at the bottom. So 10 of Cups over here for you is the card of hierarchy. It is the card of family. It is the card of togetherness. And it's the card that says to you, we need to be focusing not only on the external family hierarchy, but also the inner family that you have within yourself, because you have all sorts of different characters, all sorts of different characteristics within you that you need to be adhering to, listening to, giving time and attention to. So it's the external and it's the internal. The Fool's wisdom, telling you to assume all duties with love in your heart, is telling you to love externally and to love internally, to spend quality time with yourself and quality time with others as well. So it's about finding that balance between your external and your internal, but understanding that family is everything, understanding that, you know, the hierarchy is there and everyone has a purpose, everything has a place, everything has a function, and it doesn't take away from anybody else's purpose or function, but you need to spend time with all aspects of yourself and all aspects of yourself internally and externally. Loving that message for you, air signs. We have the Strength card next. So quite an interesting artwork, okay? So it looks like we have this kind of mountain. There is this person who seems to be lying on their stomach, but this lady who seems to be in control, she seems to have the power. She seems to be part of the mountain, part of him, growing out of him almost, and everything seems to be revolving around her, and she's holding a heart in her hand. The heart seems to be sliced down the middle, and it is creating everything that is around her. So, you know, nothing happens without a bit of tragedy. Pain is growth, growth is pain. Understanding that, you know, she is incredibly domineering and powerful. And this is not what the card is suggesting you become. It's not suggesting that at all. But it is saying, understanding that in order to achieve whatever it is that you want, you have to keep climbing. You have to take advantage of whatever you have available, whatever is around you, in order for you to succeed. But it is on an emotional level about digging really deep into all aspects of yourself in order to get done what you need to. So remember, I started off with the dutiful, saying to you that you might have to do something, have a difficult conversation with somebody this week. You might have to do something this week that takes you out of your comfort zone, that makes you feel awkward, that makes you feel horrible, that makes you feel like you're, you know, not kind, gentle, and nice. You have to do that, and you've got the strength to dig deep within yourself to do that, to overcome that, to achieve that this week. But it is about understanding, honoring and respecting yourself and your family around you, honoring and respecting the different aspects of yourself and the people in your lives in order to achieve the things that you need to achieve. Very interesting, air signs. Now, the other thing that I need to mention here is in this particular card, we've got all of the heads, okay? And the heads have been sort of, you know, opened up, cut open. Air signs are all about the thinking, and it's all about what goes on in the head. So you're going to find yourself, and even here with the strength card, you know, if we look at her head, it's the one thing, yes, he's there, but he sort of is almost in the background. She is like front and center. And if you look at the expression on her face, I mean, she means business. There is no doubt about that. She means business in a big way. And air signs, this is who you are. So you've got to find your mental clarity, your mental strength, to overcome the emotions and the things that you have to do that in order to succeed this week. Very deep message indeed. Let's have a look at this next one. So here we have the Knight of Swords, and I'm going to tell you that the suit of swords is air. Okay, it is about the thinking, the intellect, the mindset. Knight is about action in those areas. Now, it's interesting here because there's a lot of stuff going on in this, again, in the artwork. He has this nest that he's holding. And if we look at the nest, can you see there is not a single solid egg? All the eggs are broken. All the eggs have hatched. These eggs represent potential. They represent ideas. They represent opportunities. And every single one of them has hatched. And they've hatched into whatever it is, you know, there is unlimited potential. But he has initiated, instigated, controlled, handled, and managed. He did not know what was going to come out of those eggs, but he just knew that it was something he had to do. So he's taken control of that situation. He has initiated that situation, knowing that it ultimately one day it's going to lead him to where. So he's followed through with his duty. He's followed through with what he's had to do, not necessarily fully understanding, not necessarily fully aware of, you know, the consequences or the outcomes, but trusting in the process because he knows that he's strong enough and he's got his thinking together. He understands that this is just something that he needs to do. And the week is going to end off. So air signs, the week is going to end off with the Two of Pentacles. Now, here we have this little boat sailing in the waters, all right? Here we have this person who is cycling to move that wheel in order to propel the boat forward. There you're sitting in your chair, sort of waiting. We've got the sun and the moon at conflict with each other, but they're creating a yin-yang infinity kind of cycle. The interesting thing, though, we can pedal as much as we want to pedal, but while we're bound, while we're chained to the shoreline, we're not going to go anywhere. We are not going to progress. So, and everything's cracking around us. So the Two of Pentacles is the card of finding balance. It's the card of finding how much is too much and how much is not enough, and finding that balance with everything. So I am going to say to you, air signs, we've got the dutiful that has sort of laid the foundation for this week. Recognize and understand your duty. Recognize and understand what it is that you need to be doing and achieving. What is the main things that are of importance and significance to you this week? Before you just get on your boat and start pedaling in the hopes that it moves, you need to be aware. And I think this is why we're starting off with this internal, external balance, okay? Understanding the hierarchy of the people around us, the family dynamics, our own internal needs, wants, and desires, finding our strength to deal with the hard things and to deal with the things that we need to deal with, understanding that sometimes we just have to crack those eggs in order to free ourselves so that we can find the balance that we need. Maybe this chain is not holding you back, but maybe it's keeping you balanced. But it depends on how you look at it as to what its function is. So for your week, understand that this is a week of just getting on and doing that which you need to, trusting in the process and understanding that everything will work out as it needs to. So air signs, you've got a very interesting week ahead of you. I do hope that I'm going to change that. I know that you will navigate it well. I know that you will come out of it feeling balanced, feeling stable, feeling secure, even though you've had to deal with some really, really difficult life situations. Wishing you an amazing week ahead with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care, air signs.